I think Japan is one of the best places to live in if you are single, and I'm going to show you why, because like everything is kind of designed for single people, for single living. So if you're an introvert, if you aren't married, in Tokyo, most of the people you actually see on the street live alone. I'm going to explain the reasons for that later, but basically what that means is that Tokyo has become one of the most friendly cities in the world, if not the friendliest, to live alone. To, be single. It's actually affordable to find an apartment. You can buy food alone. You can go out to eat. You can go to the movies. You can just have fun, go to karaoke, whatever. And you're not going to be looked at weirdly. You're not going to be like stared at for just existing on your own. Now, depending on where you're from, you might be thinking something differently, but in America, at least where I'm from, doing things alone outside of maybe like New York or something, it's really seen as like strange. I think in America especially, there's a lot of pressure where you feel like you need to get married, you need to live with other people because you either can't afford it, you can't afford living alone, or there's just this societal pressure that's saying like it's strange for you to live alone at 28. You should be married, you should be having children. And that just doesn't exist here in the same way. There are types of pressure for society to get married, have kids, etc. Of course, we're not going to get too in deep on that, but you're allowed this time to live on your own, to be yourself, and maybe never get married if you don't want to. Hence the birth rate problem. But I think there's a lot of freedom in that, and I think it's really good in a lot of ways. So you can exist as a single person, and it's great, and I can just do whatever I want and be my own person and have my own agency. And maybe I'll settle down one day, but it will be on my terms if I do it. I can afford to live alone. I can afford to go out to eat. I can do whatever I want. Actually, the reason why Japan, and Tokyo especially, is the best place in the world, probably in my opinion, to live alone. And that is because renting a apartment like this is super easy, and the majority in Tokyo are actually meant for single people. So to start off, there are some statistics you need to know, and one of those is that actually more than 50% of people living in Tokyo are registered as a single household, like me. They live alone. That's a huge number. And even in all of Japan, 38% of people live alone. Now, of course, a lot of these people are like me, who just don't have spouses or anything like that. But actually a really large percent of this is also elderly women who live alone because their spouse already died, which isn't really something you think about. But regardless, this means that there's more people who live alone in Tokyo than people who don't. And there's a lot of reasons for this. But for everyone who does live alone, who moves out, it's actually super easy to find a place that's actually affordable. And this is something super important that you just cannot get in America. I mean, in New York City, like everyone has a roommate, right? Here, you don't have roommates. It's kind of unheard of. The most common thing, if you want roommates here, would be a share house. But compared to that, you don't really need to, because in Tokyo, over 60% of rental properties are meant for single people. Over 60%. For reference, I live in a 1K, a one kitchen, and the difference between a one room and a 1K is my kitchen is in the hallway, kind of over there, like it's separated. In a one room, it's all in one room. Living in small spaces is very common here. This space I live in now, it's really small. It's only 25 square meters. And this is probably like the average. It's very common. Personally, I want to move into a bigger space, but if you are young, if you're just starting a new job, you can actually afford to live alone here because there's so many properties. And the average rent for a 1K property in Tokyo is just under 90,000 yen right now, which is not bad. And you can get cheaper. Like if you move to the, a bit on the periphery, a bit outside of the city, probably the cheapest you could get is like, I don't know, 50,000, 60,000 yen within Tokyo. It'll be small, but you can afford it as long as you have like a normal job, Let me show you really quick just what like an average 1K looks like. This is not an official apartment tour. I'm gonna do that one day. I haven't done it for a reason. This is it. This is the whole room. I have a desk. I have a single bed, which you get used to it if you're American. I promise sleeping in a single bed it's not that bad. I have a sofa. This is rare. I kind of am forcing the sofa in here. And a TV. And then here in the hallway, I have my kitchen space. Again, this is what makes it a 1K. The kitchen is separate technically. It is super small. Like, that's how big it is. That's my hand on the counter. But, it's enough for a single person to cook. Here we have my genkan, which is my entryway. You take off your shoes. And my bathroom, toilet, a sink, and the bathtub. Shower room. By the way, this mirror opens. Yeah, that's the apartment. It's like, honestly, it's a bit too small for me now, but I'm getting older. And when you're like in college or you're just starting, you just moved to Tokyo, then You really don't need a space bigger than this. I just like collecting items. So eating out, first of all, on weekdays, eating out for lunch or even dinner is very common to do alone. You don't need to worry about it because, you know, people work at offices and they go out to eat alone. Today I'm going to Yakiniku Like, which is actually specially made for people who are eating alone. I actually wouldn't recommend going here if you're not alone. Like you can find better and cheaper. I'm going here as an example, but you can basically go to any restaurant and eat alone and it's not weird.
Hi.
You can also kind of do whatever you want alone, like have fun. So I'm gonna go to karaoke, but it's not weird to go see a movie alone. It's not weird to go to the park, whatever you want. Okay, so we're here at karaoke. This is called hitokara. It means like hitori karaoke. It's an abbreviation. And it's pretty common in Japan to go to karaoke alone, especially on weekdays. You can like go anywhere basically. And I used to do this a lot when I was a student. I mean, I go to karaoke mostly now with like friends and stuff because I have a job. But this is my favorite activity. If I do have time off on a weekday, like it's fun just to sit here and scream. And this is also super common. Like everyone else, not like at least half the people at this Maneki Neko are here alone as well, so it's not just me, I promise. So let's sing. It's more fun than you think if you're from the West, I swear. Karaoke is so big in Asia, and it's fun. If you do karaoke in Japan, you have to know this song. It's the most popular, like one of the most popular songs for like 2-3 decades now. Anime fans will know it. And of course, going shopping alone, weekend, weekday, whatever. It's very common. You can do it. Don't feel pressure. Of course, you can go with a friend too. I'm not saying you have to do everything alone. I'm just saying you can. And you can go to a cafe alone. It's most common actually to see people alone at cafes on weekdays. There's gonna be more people alone than with friends or whatever. But aside from these like common activities or errands even, you could say, you can even go on trips alone. It's called hitori tabi. And it's not rare exactly for Japanese people to do domestic travel, especially alone. More people do travel with friends or family than without, but it's not a weird thing. Like you can do it. If you want to go somewhere and none of your friends are interested, you can still go. All right, now let's go to the grocery store and I'm going to show you probably the other most important thing about living alone here, which is that you can easily buy food for one person, like just enough for one person. You don't need to buy too much food and then not be able to eat half of it because you live alone. So most things at grocery stores in Tokyo are actually designed for 2 people, like they sell it in portions of 2. And in general, the packaging for everything is a lot smaller. If you go into the countryside, you can get like bigger packaging. But like this is the standard size for strawberries. This is the standard size for yogurt, like the biggest size you can find. And part of it is because household size is a lot smaller here. And another part in Tokyo especially is that people don't drive much to the supermarket. They usually walk or bike. So you can only buy what you can fit in a bag. But I rarely waste food here because I'm able to buy just what I know I'm gonna eat. So those are some of the reasons that I think living in Tokyo as a single person is the best. Like so much easier, affordable, and it's not weird. Now, this video is mostly positive. Of course, I know there's a lot of kind of negative reasons, like people being too busy working to date, the low birth rate in general, etc., that kind of thing. But you know, I think you see enough of that on the news and no one ever really focuses on the good parts. because there are good parts. So yeah, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like the video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you leave a comment saying, Allison, your life is lonely and sad, I will block you because I'm tired of that. And subscribe for more videos about Japan in the future. I'll see you guys back here again soon. Bye!